This guide explains how to configure a custom pop-up to capture user details before they exit MegaEdit. So this applies to a few different scenarios of them leaving the screen. So it could be if they close their browser window, it could be if they switch tabs, or if they click the back button, as we've just seen here. The solution addresses user drop-off in MegaEdit by presenting a form. So for example, as we can see here, a Microsoft form or a Jot form to gather contact details for follow-up. Now, the creation of this really operates in two separate parts. So we have a hard-coded MegaEdit script that we can put on our particular products, which will give you access to this pop-up. But then you actually need to populate what's in the pop-up itself. And that's done using a custom editable content block. Now, both of these are quite easy to set up and configure. The actual form itself to capture any information is generally done with a third-party application. There's loads of them out there. The example I've got here is a Microsoft form, as I've mentioned, Jot form. You've got Google Forms and so much more. And then you can just embed those forms into the editable content block. Okay, so the thing we'll do first is to actually show you how to enable that hard-coded script. So if you go to the product details for that particular MegaEdit product, and then click on MegaEdit config to get to the MegaEdit settings of that particular product. Head over to the scripts tab. Then you just need to actually enable the page exit handler script, which should be available, and you can contact support if that's not available by default for you. And then go ahead and save those changes. Now, there are certain things we can customize about this page exit handler script, which is accessed using the config button here, which we'll come back to in a few minutes' time. Now, the next thing we want to do is to actually create a new editable content block for that exit pop-up. So within the main admin menu, if we just go to editable content, a lot of you will recognize these pre-made content blocks, which affect various different areas of your Invigo storefront. However, what we're going to do here is go over to the custom tab. Now, you'll see I've already got one created. If you need to create a new one, you can just say add new. In my case, I'm just going to go to edit this existing one. Now, this works in exactly the same way as other places you may have used content templates. So you can completely customize the look and feel and content of what you actually want within this content block. In my particular case, I've kept it quite simple with just a WYSIWYG where I can put in a bit of text and an embed where in this case, I've put in our pre-configured Microsoft form. Make sure you save this before you leave, and also make a note of the ID, which you can see up in the actual URL. This ID, which is related to this specific content block that we've created, will need to be input into our script config in order to link the two together. Okay, so if I go back to my script config, and I'm going to go ahead and click on the config button now. That will load up a separate screen, as we can see here. Down at the bottom, we have some script metadata that we're able to just copy and paste to give us an indication of what we can actually modify on this particular exit functionality. So if you don't include this in the main script config, it will just take these by default, or you can copy and paste that into here and override certain parts of it. In my case, all we're actually going to do is keep it quite simple and just show the script which editable content block it's using. So all I've done is taken this line, which you can see here, and I've input our relevant ID. Okay, and that's all you need to do. So I've reloaded my MegaEdit product now. So when I tried to actually leave it, I'll get access to that pop-up. You also see I have this Get Help button, which is something else that we can actually configure somewhat in that config file. So you can see we can give it a different title and we can control its position or whether it appears at all. That has the same effect. I click Get Help and it opens up that relevant form.